Aloha and welcome to the KupunaWiki radio show. This month we are talking about health and wellness, and in the studio we have Stephen Santiago, a recreation specialist with the City and County of Honolulu. KupunaWiki's Hawaii Senior Resource. We talk to the best local professionals in the state regarding topics such as real estate, senior housing, estate planning, finance, and health, so our Kupuna families can find the best resources in the midst of a life transition. We strive to make sure our seniors are informed and supported every step of the way. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Brandon Lau.
And I'm Andrew Leong,
your host for the KupunaWiki radio show.
Our title sponsor for today is Cheney Brooks Choice Advisors, providing you with the best real estate information so you can make the most informed decisions. As they like to say, real estate is about choice. To contact them, call 753-9033.
And now we have our real estate tip of the week brought to you by Cheney Brooks Choice Advisors.
Moving can be a mentally stressful and physical strenuous task. Without proper preparation, attempting to move on your own can result in unnecessary broken furniture and belongings as well as injury. Do not hesitate to look into moving companies which can handle all aspects of carefully moving your valuable possessions into your new home. Bonus tip, contact the Choice Advisors for a moving checklist to help ease the stress with moving.
Information about transitioning or moving from your home, contact Cheney Brooks Choice Advisors, again at 753-9033. Well, again, today we actually do have physically in the studio Stephen Santiago, who is a recreation specialist with the City and County of Honolulu. Welcome, Stephen.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And although you can't see us via radio, we are 6 feet, actually more than 6 feet apart. So we are complying with the social distancing. But it's really good to have you here physically. We get to see you and hear you talk, and I can kind of cue into the conversation a little better. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, Stephen, tell us a little bit about your role as a recreation specialist, and how did you come to do what you do?
Well, recreation, that's why I opted to come in studio. It involves interaction with people. And this physical distancing that we're going through, it makes it a little more difficult for our people. But recreation is important. That's why I got into it almost 27 years ago. I've been with the City and County, and I'm born and raised here in Honolulu. Raised in Pro Cities for all you baseball families. Yes, this is the Stephen Santiago who played. And 27 years ago, I got into recreation in a program that it was designed to get seniors more active. And we got into it. We got into it with across the island. And when that program ended, I just stayed with the program to move into the senior section, in which we take care of all our recreational needs for all our island seniors.
So, Stephen, I have to ask you, I know Pearl City has a legendary reputation in baseball. How legendary was your reputation?
Oh, I played for the legendary coach Mel Seiki. Okay. And that tells you right there where our teams always were.
Right.
So very competitive, great place for kids to learn, to grow up.
Now, you said you got involved with the senior program. Were you always with the seniors, or were you doing other things before that?
I started with the seniors, and after about 3 years, I was moved over to the Office of Human Resources, where we did a program on the North Shore with the closing of the sugar mills to help businesses get started and to get people back to work. And, it was a great time. I got to meet people who were in need of help.
Right.
And we started businesses, we got people some training, and we kept the economy going on the North Shore during a very trying time.
Let's see, and that was 27 years ago, roughly?
About 26 years ago.
26 years ago.
26 years ago.
Well, we're in another trying time right now.
Yes,
so your services are definitely needed. Well, share with us, how have things evolved over the past couple of decades as far as, the City and County and senior programming?
When the senior program began, we were coming out of the area of the, I guess you could say, people living on plantations. On the plantation, life was different. They had fun together, they met after work, on weekends there was music being played, and that is the seniors that our program began with. They loved the camaraderie, the social aspect of being a senior. They all got together. That's why we had music groups. Hula came in. All of our programs were booming at that time. And it's progressed to a point now where a lot of our seniors who are coming out of the workforce are still, you could say, quasi-working and being a senior. And they're not so much into the social aspect, they're more into the exercise. Let's travel, let's go adventure, let's go find someplace to eat. Sit down, give me some education, such as maybe your Cheney Brooks people would come in and talk to them about real estate.
Right.
And they'd listen to it. So that is how the programs evolved, where it was originally a social groups. It's now come to a few smaller groups, and they're looking for different things.
So you folks basically have to adjust to the customs of that generation, basically, right?
We look at who we're dealing with. Our demographic is very, very important.
Right.
Like at the recreation centers, some of them have high immigrant populations, and the recreation directors do a great job adjusting to having Filipino Day, Japanese Day, all different types of food. And yes, if you're in recreation, one of the big things is you be flexible. And to meet the needs of our seniors, you have got to be flexible.
You know, you mentioned the idea that you have some seniors who are not fully retired. I mean, maybe they're working part-time or they're doing something else in retirement. I guess that's just the trend, right?
Yes, seniors are now working older and older. They get up to age 75, and some are still working. And they're looking at different venues in recreation. We're seeing a healthier population group. They may want to join canoe clubs, maybe go play basketball out in the courts.
Right.
Whereas our older seniors, they prefer the more sedentary type of recreational activities. We also have a lot of seniors who love to travel.
Yeah.
So right now it must be really hard for them, and they're all waiting for when is the airlines going to open up.
Yeah, they're getting antsy in there. Huh?
Yeah, so part of our job is we got to watch what the new needs are. Where are they going for?
Right. Now, can you share a little bit of where your programs are located, meaning community-wise, and then are there certain specialties here and there in those different communities?
We have about 32 clubs around the island.
Yeah.
These are social clubs that was originally formed for the social gathering types. They're all the way across the island, all the way around the North Shore, up into Wahiawa, all the way out to Waianae, Hawaii Kai, and of course down here in downtown Honolulu. So we cover the whole island. And wherever you live, there is a recreation center. Just remember where the kids go after school, and for summer fun, that's where we're located. And so by being in all the communities, we try to eliminate the transportation needs for some of our seniors. They can just either walk in or drive a mile or two to get to our centers.
Right.
So we cover the whole thing with our clubs. Now also at our rec centers, we offer various recreational activities such as Zumba, which is incredibly popular. We have yoga classes. And although some of them may be just say for adults, they're actually targeted for adults and seniors. A senior can join any one of these types of programs. If you want to go for specialty types of things, such as Makuali Center on Kalakaua Avenue, incredible painting program, incredible ceramic program, same as with the Alawai Rec Center. If you want to go for more exercise programs, I would suggest you head out to Waipahu, where they have an incredible program at their rec center. And all of our rec centers, there's something offered. You just have to call each individual rec center, and they'll give you the information. But we have something to meet everyone's needs.
You know, if we can just ask you now, and we'll do so again later, if somebody wanted to reach out and find out more about what activities are in their community, how can they do that? What number do they call, and is there a website?
Well, the best way to do it right now is to call our office.
Okay.
And our office number is 768-6895. Okay, once again, it's 768-6895. If you call us, we can give you the numbers, and we actually have brochures which we can tell you what are you looking for and where you live. We'd rather place you by where you live first, and then we can look at across the island.
Yeah. Well, Stephen, we definitely want to hear more about what the city and county is doing to help our kupuna, as well as what exciting things you're doing with our seniors. We'll hear more about that right after this commercial break.
Okay.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, we have Steven Santiago. He's a recreation specialist with the City and County of Honolulu. First segment, great background of what services folks offer. 32 clubs around the island. That's great. What I want to dive into is, you mentioned Zumba, yoga, painting. Now, I'm assuming that it's not offered throughout the day. So you folks must have a schedule of what each classes are offered, or when each classes are offered, but it's not at all locations. You mentioned that you want to partner or match the listeners with where they're living. How do these activities get assigned? And are these volunteers that come in, or do you folks actually have staff that actually goes out and conducts these activities?
All the activities are conducted at our recreation centers. And the instructors, some are volunteering, and some of them are on a contract basis. Our classes are in the mornings for seniors. However, there is evening classes also, which seniors can join. So if they were to go to, like, the only senior center we actually have on the island is at Makuali'i. All of our programming is between 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So people would come in during that hours. However, all of the rec centers offer classes at different times during the day. And fees are really low, to $2 to $4 per session for when they come in for like the Zumba classes. And it's just, where do you want to go? Such as if you want to do a exercise program using rhythm drumming, which is really exciting to do. We tell you the 2 sections are at Makuali'i Center or at Waipahu Regional Park, District Park. If you wanted to learn to do the hula, we would then suggest going to Makiki and other parks around the island. So when they call me, we find out where they live. We then pull out all the classes that are available. We can tell them what classes are there, what times the classes are. Then we suggest they call the rec center themselves. The reason I like them to call and go to the rec center is I want them to trust the people they're dealing with. And when they get there to meet the staff, they become part of that staff's family. And they're more comfortable. I don't think you'd like to take your parents to a rec center, drop them off, and perfect strangers. It's much more fun if they walk in and they can go, hey, Joni, or whoever she is in charge, and they, hey, guy, come on in, we got the classes ready for you to go. This way you know that the rec directors are watching them during the program, and when the session ends, they're also monitoring parking lots. They're watching to see, oh, you're going home on handy van. Okay, and they're watching for the handy van to come in. You're going home with your grandson. Oh wait, that's not your grandson. Hi, I'm so-and-so the director, and you are, and they'll make sure. They like to check up on their people, and that's the reason we say, when you go to the rec center, you're going to meet the recreation directors. They're going to get to know you, and it's like when you take your children, or when the children go to the rec centers. You want to trust the person in charge.
Now, during these activities, is there a limit to how many people can attend? Do these classes fill up quick? What's the registration process?
Our classes do fill up, and the limit is the size of the building.
Okay.
Such as the building's limit is 35 people, class can only have 35 students. Registrations are held in January, in May, and September, normally. Now, this is not a normal time. So we're hoping, we can see, we don't know what's going to happen with the opening of rec centers, but if you call your local rec center or you call my number, and that would be, again, that's 768-6895. Call me, we can tell you when registration begins. A lot of the registration is now done online, but for our seniors, there's also walk-in. So when you call us in, it's usually at the start of January, the beginning of May, the beginning of September, almost like on a trimester system. We can get you and tell you when is our program starting.
Okay, and then you mentioned May is one of your registration periods.
And that's already been told we are not going to be registered.
Right. Okay, so for the listeners listening, right now everything's put on hold.
It's all on hold.
They're probably looking back at probably the next trimester, which is...
We are hoping the next semester. What we'll like to do is remind everyone, Mayor Caldwell will announce on different media that when our rec centers are open. And once it's announced, get in touch with us, and then, yeah, you come on in for registration.
Okay. And then, so what if we have, perhaps you have a listener that's, they may have some experience in, certain things that may not be offered. Is there an opportunity for them to, volunteer or get involved and maybe teach a new class that's...
Yes, there is. We've had people come in from the community who wanted to teach different types of line dancing. They come into our center, they let us know who they are, and yes, we run a quick, run them through a I guess, like a background check. And yes, we can get them into our program to teach a class.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so, given you mentioned how classes fill up quick. Are there opportunities where they may have more of the class that's, say, very popular, right? Would there be like, another additional classes scheduled? I mean, just so they're not leaving out some people that weren't able to make it.
Our rec centers are going to be limited with the usage of the room. So as long as we have spaces available and we can add on a class and we have an instructor, yes, it's a possibility. We've had that happen before for certain classes. McCooley Center, we offer 2 different line dancing classes because of that. So yes, we try to not turn away people. Now, in a class such as ceramics, where our spaces are limited by the amount of chairs, by the wheels, because they do wheel throwing, unfortunately, that one has a cut. Yeah, at the time people understand that when it happens.
Stephen, I'm on your website. I guess the root of this is honolulu.gov/park/programs, and then you go to senior citizen. So quite a good amount of information here on the website. It does say, I guess, the senior citizen programs are 55 and older?
Right. We go with an age limit of 55 and older for all of our classes and our club registrations. Younger people are allowed in if they are the caregiver for the person.
Right.
Such as if you brought in your grandmother and you were the registered caregiver for her, you'd be allowed to stay with her during the class. Now, you wouldn't be participating as a student, but you could be there to help her throughout what she needs.
And I'm seeing some great events here at the bottom. There, I guess at one point was a seniors Valentine dance.
We just had that. It was a blast.
Is that like a prom?
Not as formal. I'm sure some people do get dressed up. We go to the Blaisdell Center, and there's a ballroom dancing music played. The Royal Hawaiian Band comes and join us. And we have a promenade of seniors who come from different clubs around the island. That event is open to all seniors around the island. It's not only our club members. So we get people from other senior organizations, and we get, believe it or not, we've had a group of tourists show up. They heard it was a dance, they walked in and had a great time.
Now, were you the DJ?
Oh no, we had Rodney Villanueva this past
Oh, no kidding.
In the past, we've had Cutmaster Spaz.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've had some on-stage talents up there.
Yeah, no kidding. You also have that fun walk, which I think this year didn't happen.
Yes, unfortunately, our fun walk was canceled. It was at the start of this pandemic. And we go to the Central Oahu Regional Park. We do a 1 or a 2-mile walk. After it's done, there's shave ice being served. There's games and activities, win some prizes. Royal Hawaiian Band joins us early. And it's a fun time. We get about 500 seniors in the park at that time.
Wow. What are some stories you can share with us of how these programs really impact the lives of our seniors?
Well, as I said, a lot of it is social.
Yeah.
And people get together, get out of the house, and they come to me. A couple of years ago, I had a woman come up to me, and I'd seen her on our program, and she takes my hand, and she bows down to me, and she goes, "Stephen, your program saved my life." And I had to stop, and I says, "Whoa, what happened?" She says she was in her home for 2 years, just by herself. And she's not on the computer. She watches a little bit of Korean dramas, and she was just slowly fading herself. A friend told her, "Come on with me one day to go see this club where they did some Japanese dancing." She walked in to join that one club. Today she's at our center for about 4 hours a day.
Wow.
And I put on weight because of her, because she's a wonderful cook. But she'll come on in and she'll, "Good morning, Mr. Stephen. Good morning." I'll tell good morning to her. And I didn't realize that because of our program, she had a reason to get up in the morning. She had a reason to dress up.
Yeah.
And she had a reason to get out of her house or her apartment to come to see us. So I was blown away when she said, "We saved her life."
That's great.
And then she later brought her sister into the program. And those are the kind of things we see. Yeah. So we're not just looking at a number on a piece of paper. We actually got a name.
Right.
And that is the reason I like it when our seniors come in person to talk with us and find out. I had another one who the senior, believe it or not, he was part of the Japanese Imperial Army during World War II. He was now at 85 years old. His daughter came in and she was very concerned that he wasn't eating well. So after about 2 minutes of talking, I had to tell my staff to leave the office. And she was breaking down in tears because she didn't know what to do. She lived in Norway. Her father was here. He eats bacon every morning, eggs, rice. And so we start to talk and I say, hey, your dad's happy, isn't he? She's like, yeah. I go, well, maybe you should talk to his doctor about his diet. And sure enough, a week later she came back, the doctor said, let him be happy. So yeah, that is what we do. That's why, we're a recreation center.
Right.
I can get you into a painting program, I can get you on a Zumba floor. But I also like to know who you are.
And so much, you're basically extended family.
That is what we become. Yes.
Watching out for them, and you get to know you on a first name basis. You get to know all their challenges, health problems, and try to help them out.
It's fun because we get things that the children don't, such as you want another story?
Yeah.
Okay. We do an event. We used to do an event called Rediscovery Waikiki.
Okay.
We would take about 200 seniors to Waikiki. We stayed at one of the local hotels. In the evenings, we went to see shows such as Magic of Polynesia, the Polynesian show out at Paradise Coves and things like this. And we assigned them into rooms. So seniors sign up, they put in a roommate that they want, and we try to accommodate them. If you assign by yourself, we let you know, hey, would you mind? They go, no, put us with who we need. So we had a senior who came in, she was by herself, and she was registered to come to the program. Her daughter calls me up and says, hi, how will you be giving my mom a roommate? And we says, oh, well, we'll look for other ladies who will be by themselves. And, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say, I said, we'll be looking for other people who will be by themselves, and we put them together for roommates, and during the day we have them on all these activities. And the daughter begins to hem, at night, will you check? Well, will you guys look in the room? Are you going to make sure? And we says, we'll make sure they're all back safely. And then I smiled and told her, but we won't be doing a room check. So I'm not going to look at who's in the room with your mom. And she's very embarrassed, and she goes, oh, no, not that. The next day she calls up and says, okay, I'm coming too. I'll stay with my mom. I don't know what the conversation with her mom was, but we were just laughing. The mom was fun. We had a great time.
Right. That's such a cute story. Have parenting in reverse, right?
Yeah, we do have I have a saying I tell some of the children is don't raise your parents. Your parents have already raised you. Just let them live their lives.
That's true. Well, maybe you can share a little bit about how you think the current pandemic is going to affect your programs going forward. One of the events that we really enjoy, and one of the events that started off our program here is the Good Life Expo. And thousands of people would congregate and get information, they'd meet other people. That can't happen anymore. Do you see other changes occurring with the city and county and programs?
Well, currently we do the Mayor's Fair, the Mayor's Craft and Country Expo, and we know it's going to be affected. So we have to look at how are we going to space our booths, how are we going to bring in our vendors, and how are we going to monitor how much people come in. Now, currently, we've taken that off the books until this pandemic is safe. Our primary concern is the safety of our seniors, and I think it's going to affect all activities.
Yeah.
Sporting events, anything that a senior might go to. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to go away, and our seniors are going to have to adjust to it. We may be seeing a lot of masks in the future.
Yes.
And
we're going to have a mask making class.
We've had one.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be there. So it is going to affect the seniors. Yeah. The social aspect of their lives have been changed. So we've got to see how we can do it. Many of them do not do computer. So we have to figure out how we're going to do it. And that's our planning right now. We're moving into that phase to make sure we're ready when the mayor lifts the ban and our seniors can come back to our rec centers.
That's wonderful. Well, Stephen, one more time for those listening who are interested in finding out more information about your senior programs, how can you do that?
Best way is to call our number, 768-6895. We're open from 8 to 4. And give us a call. We'll give you information on the program. Or if you know your local rec center, give them a call as well.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Stephen Santiago, Recreation Specialist with the City and County of Honolulu. Thanks for being on our show.
Oh, thank you guys for doing this program. This is great.
It's been a pleasure. Coming up next, we have our KupunaWiki Classic Trivia.